Krishna Srimad Bhakti, Panchakat Bhakti, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hridaya Namaskrityam Jaivam Namotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Udayam Uriye Nastapesu Prabhandreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Kamashvati Bhakti Bhagavati Astaki. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Part 2. We are now on Chapter 24. Not yesterday, but Saturday, Kavikarnapura read text once. Today we will proceed with text number 2. Tad Abhijino Pi Bhagavan Sarvatma Sarva Darsana Prasraya Vanato Richard Ridan Nanda Purogaman Tad Abhijinot Pi Bhagavan Sarvatma Sarvadarsana Prasraya Vanato Richard Ridananda Purogaman Tad Abhijno Pi Bhagavan Sarvatma Sarvadarsana Prasraya Vanato Richard Ridananda Purogaman Tad Abhijno Pi Bhagavan Sarvatma Sarvadarsana Prasraya Vanato Richard Ridananda Purogaman
Tad Abhijno Pi Bhagavan Sarvatma Sarvadarsana Rasraya Vanatu Pricha
Sanaya Vanto
Ridhananda Puru Gaman
Dayananda Sadabhijanopi Bhagavan
Tata Vishnu Pi Bhagavan
Sarvatma Sarvadarshana
Sarvatma Sarvadarsana
Rasraya Vanato Prisha
Rasraya Vanatu Pricha
Vedananda Purogama
Ridhananda Puru Gaman
Tata Vishnu Pi Bhagavan
Tata Vishnu Pi Bhagavan
Sarvatma Sarvadarshana
Sarvatma Sarvadarsana
Rasraya Vanato Piksha
Rasraya Vanatu Pricha
Yananda Purugama
Ridhananda Puru Gaman
Thank you. Tat avijna,
Tat Abhijna
being in full knowledge about it,
being in full knowledge about it,
happy,
happy,
although
although
Bhagavan,
Bhagavan,
the Supreme Lord,
the Supreme Lord,
Sarva Atma,
Sarvatma,
the super soul within everyone's heart,
the super soul within everyone's heart,
Sarva Darsana,
Sarvadarsana,
the omniscient personality of Godhead,
the omniscient personality of Godhead,
Prasraya Avanataha,
Rasraya Vanataha,
bowing down humbly,
bowing down humbly,
Aprichat,
Aprichat,
he inquired,
he inquired,
Rida,
from
from the elders,
the elders,
Nanda Puragama,
Nanda Puragaman,
headed by Maharaj Nanda.
headed by Maharaj Nanda.
Translation and preferred by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Being the omniscient super soul, the Supreme Lord Krishna already understood the situation. Yet he still humbly inquired from the elders, headed by his father, Nanda Maharaj. Can you repeat?
Being the omniscient super soul,
The Sovereign Lord
Supreme
Krishna
Lord Krishna already understood the situation, yet he still humbly inquired from the elders, headed by his father, Nanda Maharaj.
Thank you. Perfect. Lord Krishna was eager to enact his pastime of lifting Govardhan Hill and defeating the false pride of Indra, and thus he cleverly inquired from his father about the imminent sacrifice. Om Avyayam Irvasya Nanjana Sanakaya Chaksuyamadikanyana Kasmai Sirave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manavishya Stapitaya Bhutaya Sayamupa Padamaya Vidati Swapadantika Vanchakalpa Taruyasya Vipasindu Vyayavasya Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaisnavabhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Asari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Please bless me so that I will speak something that can please our Lord and purify all of us. Thank you. So Krishna is setting up a situation where he can perform his pastime of lifting Govardhan Hill and simultaneously defeating the false pride of Indra. Because it's not just us, it's also the demigods that are bewildered. Everyone in this material manifestation, even the creator, secondary creator, Chatur Mukha, or the four-headed Lord Brahma, he was also at some point became bewildered. So, but he was very smart. before he started creation, he prayed to the Lord vehemently, that please do not allow me to become puffed up, since it is a big obligation and it requires a lot of power, and power corrupts, and absolute power absolutely corrupts. So when he was granted this power to create, he prayed to the Lord that I hope it does not make me puffed up to forget that I am only a servant. So Lord Brahma has the right thinking on how not to become bewildered. But still there was a point in his life where he became bewildered. And here it is being emphasized that Lord Indra, the king of heaven, is bewildered. And so Krishna will, after some time, will end up chastising his false ego. And at the same time giving us a lesson that we be much more insignificant. You know how insignificant we are? I remember my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jananda Goswami pointed out how insignificant we are. He says, on the earth there is Philippines, small country. In the Philippines there is Makati. In Makati there is Banuyo, he said. And you are there. You see how small we are? Very, very small. So anywhere you are in this world, even if you are very rich, very influential, very smart, all of this has limitations. Time will come when you will have to give this up. And the only way that all these possessions will be meaningful is by using them to Krishna, by donating, giving back to the Supreme Proprietor of everything. Siya may-ari ng lahat. So it is best to give everything back to the proper owner. I remember one time in India, there was this donation box. And the golden rule in India is whatever you put inside the box, you cannot take it back. No way. So one time there was this lady who had a baby. And it was a typical day, not much people in there. So he came in for a darshan, and then the baby started crying. So she wanted to prepare the milk in the bag. So she put the baby down. She thought I'd put the baby down for a few moments. So she put it on top of the donation box. And while she was mixing the milk, the donation box broke. And the baby fell inside. What to do? You know the rules. Whatever is put inside, we cannot get it back. So, you cannot get back the baby. But we all know that this is an arrangement for Krishna. That baby has to become an advanced devotee, ASAP. So Krishna has arranged it. And it's not a loss. It's actually a gain that a family member will grow up under the care of the temple. It's a very rare opportunity. Not everyone gets that chance. And whoever does is very auspicious. He is very, or she is very fortunate. So, once you are in, we should never try to retract. For instance, if you have chanting regularly 16 rounds, you should not retract or in the same way, should try and chant less. You should never go back. It's like, yeah, that is your donation. You cannot take it back. Just like, no escaping. And although the rocket scientists, they have figured out the speed of the, what you would call, escape velocity of anything trying to get out of the pull of gravity, it has to be at least 7.11 miles per second. That's really fast to get out of the pull of the law of gravity, 7.11 miles per second. But to get out of the pool of the material manifestation, your speed has to be 16 rounds of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That is the recommendation of Srila Prabhupada. But if you ask me, you should not just do 16 rounds. Personally, when I started chanting, I was not content with the 16 rounds. I was doing 25 rounds a day to keep Maya away. Because 16 rounds was for Srila Prabhupada's disciples, and they were much more advanced, exalted than I am. So I figured if I want to at least advance a little bit, then I should chant more. And not just mediocre chanting, but try to focus on your rounds. That's why every morning I have started chanting vocally. I was inspired by some devotee to chant, at least a few rounds vocally in front of Tusi. This is the practice actually of the devotees in the Dham, especially in Vrindavan and Mayapur. In Mayapur, they would actually set up Tusi in the middle and a nice place to sit. And then everybody around on the Tusi, there will be about 20 plus devotees, few inches apart, and everybody would be chanting nicely. In Vrindavan is also the same. There are two spots. One is near the altar, and one is on the open arena, where people sit around and chant, surrounding Mother Tulsi. She is, after all, like our, what you may call, attorney di company niya. She is our lawyer to Krishna, petitioning for our forgiveness and advancement in our spiritual practice. And FYI, before we should water Mother Tulsi, we should commemorate her 4 times. Then, when we are singing Yani Kani Chapapani, it translates to even the sin of killing a Ravana will be forgiven by commemorating the Mother of the universe. So, it seems like pretty easy, right? It's a start, it's a process. But that does not mean that you should really try and kill a Brahmana. Don't do that, okay? It's just saying that even if you have in the past, then your sins will be forgiven by being sincere in your practice. Just like before when we mentioned by chanting the holy names, even the sins that you have committed or not yet committed will be forgiven. But that doesn't mean you should try it. No, that's not the recommendation. So lifting the golden hill. Wow. With the left hand, using a pinky. And the hill was not even touching Krishna's fingers. You can just imagine any superhero, any character in any comic books, whether Marvel or Dark Horse or whatever company, whatever imaginary cartoons they have. No one comes close to how strong Krishna is. He's so strong that if you put all the superheroes, all the cartoon characters, all their strength together, they will not measure up to the strength of Krishna. And none of them is immortal. Even our very famous so-called Superman. Yeah, his strength is phenomenal, very strong. He's bulletproof. Can jump from building to building faster than a bullet train. Speaking of another phenomenon about speed, Krishna in my study in VIH, he is mentioned to be the fastest person anywhere. He's even faster than his carrier, the Buddha. Krishna can travel at the speed that no one can measure. He's so fast, he is in his abode in Golok, Vrindavan. But he can be right beside you at any moment. He can be with his devotees at any moment. Just like when the other day, a few days ago, we talked about Draupadi being in trouble with the Kauravas, and Dushasana was trying to unrobe her. And when she called on Krishna and surrendered, immediately, although Krishna was physically elsewhere, he came. Because after all, Krishna is interdimensional. He's not on one single plane. He can be in any dimension at any moment. Or, as Srimad Bhagavatam says, Krishna is in every atom of the universe. Atom is the smallest particle. And Krishna is the only person who can take a nice long walk inside an atom. He is smaller than the smallest. He is bigger than the biggest. So, in this pastime, he's pretending to be a simple cowherd boy, but he's actually enjoying his pastimes with the rich classes, the residents of Vrindavan. And soon we shall get to know how the pride of Indra will be defeated. And at the same time, the love of his parents, namely Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, his friends, and everyone will increase for Krishna. Krishna is so clever that there's no way that we can outsmart the Lord. He cannot learn anything from us. He knows the past, present, and future. So there is no way that we can try to outthink or outsmart the Lord. There's, I remember again the past time when one person tried to get God to give him money, so he came up to the Himalayas and said, he called out to God, God, are you there? Please answer me. So he kept calling like this, God, I need to talk to you. Please answer me. So God eventually humored him and said, yes, my son, I'm here. And this person says, God, what is 100 years to you? God says, it's only a moment. Okay. What is $100 million to you? 1 penny. Okay. My God, can you please give me a penny? And God said, sure, my son. 1 moment. He cannot try to, outsmart the Lord. He is the smartest. Or in Bhagavad Gita, he said that all the cheats, I am gambling. That's why we don't gamble, because gambling is a very bad habit. I grew up knowing some people in my neighborhood with this hobby. That it's so bad it corrupts your character. They would sell everything they own. They would sell their jewelries, their even food. They would sell just so that they can gamble. And sometimes they would not go home. They would neglect their own family. So it really corrupts you. It makes the mind so deteriorated that it cannot focus on doing natural things. Gambling is a very bad habit. And I have witnessed personally that in a casino, while people are gambling, they are also drinking, smoking, eating non-veg. All the four regulative principles are being broken at the same moment. And the mind is telling them that you are enjoying. This is a good life. But the scripture says this is Maya Supaya, illusory happiness. It is not happiness. It is misery sugar-coated. So people are thinking, yes, this is a good life, because they feel excited when they are gambling. They feel like there's a rush of adrenaline in them. And they want to keep that rush. They want to chase after it. But that rush, they never catch. It always slips away somehow. Because no happiness really material world can ever offer you. You may find some pleasure for your senses, for the mind, but all this is ephemeral or temporary. Because you are a spirit soul, Aham Brahmasmi. So real happiness, you will only be able to discover in the spiritual level. And this would easily come simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. With the chanting, your worries will move away. or as Gauranga would say, if you have a problem and there's no solution for it, you should not worry too much. And if you have a problem that has a solution, you should also not worry about it. In either way, you should not worry. Krishna will take care of it.
Nothing to fear.
That's right. Just like the story of Dr. Patel. One time, when Dr. Patel was a very famous heart surgeon, he specializes in freezing the heart before operating on it, which minimizes the damage around the heart. He became very famous for this technique. So one time he was to get accolade, he was going to be recognized in some gathering. So he was traveling from Delhi to Mayapur. But on the plane, before he could take off, there was a thunderstorm, so all the flights were cancelled. But he really wanted this award, so he decided to take a cab. It's a long journey anyway, so he still went. But somewhere halfway, the cab taxi broke down. And so they were in the middle of nowhere. There was no signal. And Dr. Patel was in anxiety. He really wanted to go. So he said to the cab, keep trying to contact, and I'll try to find a house where there is a landline so that I may call from there. So he walked around and he saw a house, and he knocked on the door, and he saw that this is a small house, and he is still out of being frustrated. He wanted to find out anyway if they had a phone. So when the door opened, he saw that the people there were having bhajans. They were actually devotees, so they invited him in. And he asked, do you have a phone? And the couple, husband and wife, said, no, we are poor people, we don't have a phone. But can we offer you some food and drink? We will have prasadam in a few minutes after our bhajans. He was feeling a little bit famished, so he said, yeah, okay, I'll come inside. And while having bhajans and while he was observing, he saw a little boy who is having seizure. He was not normal because he had a brain aneurysm and his heart was also having a problem. So after the bhajans, while they are honoring prasadam, Dr. Patel inquired, what is wrong with your son? And they said, the doctor said they could not find out exactly what's wrong with him. So we took him several times to many hospitals and they could not fix him. Oh, that's too bad. So what do you plan to do? And the couple says, actually, we were advised to bring him to a specialist on far city, but we don't have money. We don't have the capacity to do that. So he just prayed to Krishna that he is in charge of everything. If he wants, he can fix our son. So we cannot bring him to this specialist. And Dr. Patel, out of curiosity, asked, who is this specialist? Oh, we don't know him, but his name is Dr. Patel. Wow, Krishna brought that solution to their doorstep. So now he knew why the plane won't run, taxi broke down, he could not find a phone. And now he is led inside the house of the devotees. Because the devotees, they could not do anything. So they just put the problem in the lotus feet of Krishna. My Lord, if you want, you can fix our son. It's yours. And so, now Dr. Patel understood that the Lord works in mysterious ways. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That Krishna just showed them how he operates without touching anything. Okay, we'll end at that. If you have anything to add or any question, we got 9 minutes.
No response.
Yeah, just a few minutes to have a small conversation. You guys want? Yes, Guru.
Thank you for regarding some circumstances that just like the story of Dr. Patel. I think it also happens to everybody. But it's just that many of us are complaining, likes to complain whenever there is
Instead of appreciating,
we are complaining why we have delays like this. But if we really try to understand, we are not doing these things. It is Krishna's energy that is doing these things. So this idea of doership really is a bondage. It's an attachment to this body because we think that we are doing things, but it is said in the Bhagavad Gita that we are not the doer. So
we are a portion.
A portion.
Five things doing.
But it's just the 3 modes of this material nature that is doing those things. Yeah. So sometimes we really forget that it is
not sometimes.
Often, most of the time, most of the time. Yeah. That's why I remember this. During the night, September 11, when there was this they say attack in these Twin Towers. There are stories also that they say that if I was not late going there, then I would have been there. Yeah, there are a lot of stories. Then there was also this guy whose kid was always crying. That's why he was also late going there. So
they were saved.
Yeah, they were saved instead of them being fallen in that being included in that explosion or that fall in that building. Then they were saved. So they really was very grateful. So I think it is also the same as the story of the Prophet.
Krishna is the greatest engineer, architect, doctor. Every profession, he is the greatest. He is the master planner of all the master planners.
We have a plan, but there is the great cosmic plan.
And that's right.
That's why there's no point.
And we're lucky that we understand this. These are very complicated matters. If you have no faith, you will not understand. And he is in charge.
So thank you for this opportunity to hear this story.
Hare Krishna. I heard it from one great devotee also. I have no realization. I'm just a parrot repeating stories.
We all are.
Yes. One time someone told Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, sometimes I am in Maya. Srila Prabhupada said, no, you're always in Maya. Then sometimes you are with Krishna.
It's the other way around.
No, think you are so advanced. It's not sometimes. You're always in Maya. But sometimes you're with Krishna.
Yeah.
You can say that you are always in Krishna. You're not in Srila Prabhupada's state of consciousness.
Maya.
Thank you for tolerating me. Please forgive me for my offenses. Granted, Srimad Bhagavatam ki,
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
At the time.